Hi everybody, and my name is Linda, and I wanted to thank Split Coast for asking me to do this tutorial for you. They're calling this the Frosted Nestabilities, and we'll be using Spellbinder's beaded ovals die. So I've made this video 3 times, and I'm going to have to kind of double up on some of the steps, so bear with me and we'll get through that. But this is what our project's going to be for today, so here we go. I do want to point out that throughout this whole technique, the die and the papers really stays in the die, but so I can show you, I have to take it in and out. So I'll let you know when you need to take it out of the die. First, I want to tell you that this is cardstock, vellum cardstock. Regular paper cardstock ends up tearing, so you want to make sure that you're using the vellum cardstock. Also, I'm going to be using Basic Gray's double-ended embossing tool, and I'm going to go around and I'm going to color in each one of them, and I call them little beads. And I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure, very firm, go over it a few times, and I'm going to fill in each one of these little beaded areas. And you're going to want to continue this all the way around. I'm only going to do a few so you can see them. So you're going to continue all the way around doing that same thing, and then when you get finished going around, you're going to want to take your white Prismacolor pencil and you're going to want to color. And if you'll notice, my end's pretty blunt. I didn't want a sharp end because it has a tendency to tear the paper. So blunt's better, and I only do this because I want a whiter white to, for when you take this out of the die, it shows up a lot better. So you're going to continue this all the way around, and I'm going to take this one out. I'm going to move to the next one. So when you have that all the way around, you're going to, and this is where I'm going to have to start doubling up on some tips, so, but we'll do each one. I used my regular stylus on this one, and I push up against my, make sure it's in there straight, push up against your die, and you're going to go around the edge of that large oval part. You're going to go completely around that, and then you're going to take your white pencil again and you're going to go around again. Okay. Again, this is just so you can get a whiter white. Here you also see it's already there. I took the small oval nestability and I placed it, eyeballing this, and I'm at an angle, so I'm hoping I get it lined up pretty straight. I'm going to take my stylus again, smaller side, and I'm only going to go around this once because I just need a little guide, and you'll see what I need that guide for in a few steps later. And I'm going to go around. Again, I'm pushing up to my die. I'm resting that right up on my die. And I continue all the way around. And once you get to this point, move that. Now I can take my die out of my paper, out of my die, and I now have this. So you can see it's a whiter white, and I have darker paper behind me so you can see this a lot better than on white paper. So this is what you have. And then what I did was I took took my stamps, and I used the Crafty Secret stamp set here, and I used the very small image and with dark ink, and you'll see in a few minutes what I did with that. And then I also used a little sentiment here that says thanks. So, and this is called Cupcake Party, and I did stamp that small image on a piece of scrap paper, cardstock, doesn't matter, just a light color, and the ink needs to be dark, and you'll see why. I also stamped my sentiment that says thanks on a piece of white cardstock. Again, I used the small oval, and I cut and embossed this little white cardstock, and then stamped my sentiment there. And I also placed some dimensionals on the back. Now you can see I've done this a few times, so I'm trying to save an extra step and cutting out some more. So I'm going to take my my piercing pad, and I like using this through this technique. You can use a mouse pad. I used it when I colored in my ovals and used my pencil. So here I'm going to lay this down, and I'm going to say I had a lot of questions after I posted this on the Spellbinders Blog Hop for their blog frenzy, how I was able to position these nice so evenly apart. And I'm going to show you a little thing. I just figured it out. I'm sure you probably already know this, but I want to share this with you. When I look at my die and I look at these little ovals on the outside, I see a 12 o'clock, I see a 6 o'clock because they're completely opposite. I see a 3 o'clock and I see a 9 o'clock, completely opposite. So I just kind of looked at it and that took that and thought, well, I can line this up. And I first used my opaque pen, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. I put my first image at my 12 o'clock, one at my 6 o'clock, one at 3 o'clock, and one at 9 o'clock. So what I was able to do at that point was I was able to lay my image in between, and I can see here if it's evenly spaced apart. And I use that when we trace that little circle in the center, I use that to make sure that the bottom of my image was resting on that line. And then I use my white opaque pen. Now this is, they don't work well for me. So I had to go over each one of these twice. And I do add a little bit of pressure, but I'm just really tracing over the top of that little image with the white opaque pen on the back side of my vellum. Most of this is done on the back side of your die, your paper. So see, now I have that, and here's my images all the way around. And you can see just it looks really nice and white. So I set that aside. So this is truly what we have here. You're going to take, and at this point I also cut a piece of the Blush Blossom cardstock, and I used my vellum Easy Runner from Scrapbook Adhesive. I love their products, so I did use that, and I run a small piece, we'll do it again, small piece of tape in the center. You'd want to do more. I'm going to line up run my finger there, and then I took a pair of tweezers. I like working with my tweezers, and I just placed this right in the center. And so this is what you will end up with. And it's a fun project. It's fast, and it really does help have your little pearls and these little scalloped edges step out and stand out a little bit more. So I really want to thank you for watching today, and thank you again, Split Coast, for asking me to do this tutorial, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks.